Okay, so the last phase that we will do is called the extended extensive phase. So if you think back to that extensive phase, it was designed all around pushing this to the right over here. Our time to exhaustion all the way out, further to help us kind of fight off some of that fatigue that you see right here and the point at where our max power starts to deflect down away from us. And the key is in the last sentence I just said right there, that the point at which our power starts to deflect down here. So if you look at this athlete's power right here, we have a couple different deflection points. Number one, our first deflection point comes at around 2 hours right over there. The second deflection point comes right over here. It's about 4 hours right in there, I'll be honest with you. So if we say, okay, this is 2 hours, and then this is 4 hours right over there. So we know in this extensive phase, we need to push that further out. So the first thing that we need to do, just erase this for you really fast. This point right here, this 2 hour mark right here, you can see that this area, it goes down, but then it does kind of recover right in there. And what we want to do is similar to the first phase that we did with our time to exhaustion, pushing this to the right. We want to do the exact same thing. Take this deflection point right here and push it to the right further over there, so we don't have any more of the deflection right in there. And this is all specifically before I go any further, this is all specifically designed around you, most importantly, and your target race goal. So if we know that you only need to be on the bike for 3 hours, let's say a half Ironman, and we know that your bike split's probably going to take you around that 250 mark, then there's no real need to push beyond 3 hours and 23 hours and 30 minutes. There's no real need to do that unless you are, again, chasing those watts and chasing that n-tenth percent of development and progress. But for us average people, for us average Joes, not the professionals, since we do have this area now, we can extend it out further. Obviously, if we can extend it out beyond where we will be before race day, that would be great. During this phase, it is getting close to our main race, so you're not going to see a lot of extended work way out here. You might see 1 weekend of it, but as it draws closer and closer and closer, the benefits outweigh, or the costs outweigh the benefits during this phase to keep pushing this further out over here. Like we said, you should already be at a point where you can handle let's say an Ironman. You should already be at the point where you can handle that 3-4 weeks before, 5 weeks before your race. So for the first week of that phase, you're probably going to have, let's go right here. There's that 2 hour mark. You're probably going to have 2 by 2 hours. And we're just taking this shot right here. We're trying to push it out a little bit, trying to just increase it just a little bit, so when we get there on race day, it's not we can have a little bit better power output. If we can have 5 watts more over the course of the whole race, that would obviously benefit you a lot more, you know. Now, as it gets closer and closer to race day, obviously we can't go and chase after these over here, so our main focus does end up becoming this area right in here instead of this far right one. And again, you're gonna see some sweet spot stuff in here. You're gonna see some race day efforts in here. But if let's say you target your hour mark right in here, and you're targeting your tempo work. Let's say for this athlete, let's say it's right in there. What are the physiological benefits that this athlete is realistically going to gain from that? The answer is not very much, because they can handle it. It's well below their maximum power output over there. Well below. So instead, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going back to some of those tempos, those sweet spot areas. Maybe it's a little bit beyond our race intensity, right? That's where you see anytime you shrink the time, you have to increase the intensity. So think this power duration curve. If this line is our FTP. Anytime we go over here, you want to work on 20-second intervals. You have to target up in here to see any real progression or development. If you want to do 5 seconds, it's right in there, right? If you want to target 1 second, it's right up in here, okay? The same holds true with our training as the race gets closer. Because it is getting closer, right, we do have to increase the intensity a little bit. So you're going to start to see some of these efforts above. Maybe we target some of this time to exhaustion, and we're not necessarily going to get an extensive workout phase over there, but we're going to start to tease this a little bit. So that if this is our max, we're probably going to be, just do that again, we're probably going to be around right in there, a little bit lower. Okay, and we're going to repeat that a couple times, and then we're going to shut it down. That should be more than doable for you. You're going to get a little bit of benefit for it, and you're not going to lose a whole bunch of fitness, which, again, I'm going to create another video about that soon. But that is the speed development phase in a nutshell. Expect to see a lot of race day specifics. Expect to see a lot of focus on the power output, the aerodynamics, the aero positioning, that kind of stuff, as well as decreased time but increased intensity. But know that it is all focused around on maintaining some of the adaptations you've developed over the course of this training cycle over here. And this is typically only done for our longer event people. A lot of times we can just get away with just the speed development phase, the last one that you just came out of, for our half Ironman, half marathon, and less people. But because we have to taper a little bit, and because we have to take a little bit of time off, that is why you're starting to see this extensive phase over here. So we have the same ideas of the extensive phase, but we're just focusing on some of these areas over here where we know we can develop a little bit. But on the other side of the coin, our race is coming up, so we do have to kind of shrink that time as the race gets closer. So this phase is really targeted around 3 or 4 highly specific, highly targeted key sessions. And after that, I'm not going to say the rest is filler, because it's not, but it's targeted specifically for those main key workouts, and then the rest is designed to maintain a little bit, because we're entering that maintenance phase in there. So that is the speed development phase. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, and I'll be more than happy to answer them down below or through email, text, whatever is easier for you.